Hello, my name is Bree, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel, Breezy Banter, the place where I talk about the things I want to talk about. In today's video, I'm doing a continuation of the series that I have here on my channel, where I review the perfumes that I've tried from a certain indie perfumery. Today's video is going to focus on the perfume house Fyrinnae. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. In this video, what I'll do is I'll tell you the names of the perfumes that I tried, what I rated it out of 10, whether or not I will full size it, the notes from the shop itself, my experience with the scent, and whether or not I received it as a free sample. I'll also discuss my experience with the customer service, if applicable, as well as my experience in terms of the shipping process. Before we get started, I'll also give you an idea of the type of scents that I tend to enjoy. So the notes that I tend to like are those that are generally considered to be very feminine and very sweet. So these include notes such as vanilla, cake, sugar, cotton candy, and lime. In terms of notes that are hit or miss, these include most fruit notes, so in particular scents such as peach or apple, some florals, musk, and amber. And then in terms of notes that I dislike, often this includes rose, pumpkin, incense, smoke, wood, or anything that leans more masculine. So with all of that said, let's get started with discussing the perfumes from Fyrinnae. The first perfume that I tried from them is called Aasgard Pass. I rated this 6 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are well done marshmallow kebabs over a campfire skewered on a fir twig. I said that this scent is exactly as described. It is very reminiscent of the Firebird vanilla and smoke scents, such as cabin and vanilla cedar. Next is the scent Arctic Foxes Having Cake. I rated this 6 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are airy angel food cake with a messy crust, just out of the oven with the barest background of various sweet kitchen scents, no spice. I said, this definitely smells like a less sweet version of a cake. Although it says no spice, it mildly irritated my skin on initial application, and it definitely has a spice-like smell to it. Next is the scent Barmbrack, which I've rated 7 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are slightly sweet bread with a few bits of dried fruit and topped with fresh butter, traditionally baked with small divination objects inside and served at Samhain. I said the scent is weirdly enticing. It definitely smells like sourdough bread, which is a whole delicious vibe in itself, and I kind of dig the idea of smelling like a salty bakery. Next is Black-Footed Cat. I rated this 7 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are a rich, spongy cake containing apricot jam and soaked in an even richer, buttery caramel sauce. I said that this scent is definitely very sweet and syrupy. I'm not sure I got apricot from the notes, but I definitely got the rest of them. Next is Cepheus. I rated this 7 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are warm notes of sandalwood, dry tobacco leaves, amber, acacia wood, and a hint of pink pepper, are livened up with the barest touch of sweet lime and honeydew melon. I said that this smells like the house of one of my best friends when I was growing up, which has a very distinct smell. Obviously that's not of much use to you here, but it did remind me of that. I said the scent came across like it had a mint note in it, which might be coming from the pink pepper, which first turned me off of it. Over time, it became a really rich and yet light scent. It's pretty difficult to explain. However, I would describe it as, quote, nice. Next is Dies Irae. I rated this 3 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are sweet indulgent liqueur, heavy labdanum absolute, warm black pepper, a touch of rich vanilla. I said that this scent is rich and deep with a touch of spice. Something in the formula irritated my skin. Next is In the Hall of the Mountain King, which I rated 6 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing. The notes are warm resins enveloped by wood smoke, a touch of sharp, arid mountain plants, and subtle unsweetened vanilla. I said the scent is a bit odd. I definitely get a floral note with some smokiness and plant notes, and then a touch of something that seems like it could be sweet, but isn't. Overall, I would describe this as a very naturesque scent. Next is the scent Isle of the Dead. I rated this 3 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are sweet, syrupy benzoin dominates, followed by Siberian fir needle, Himalayan cedarwood, amber, and the barest whiff of leather. I said that this is definitely very foresty and almost minty. I get a sweet note of sorts, but it's hard to place. Someone who typically likes these notes would probably enjoy this, but it's not my style, and these notes aren't generally for me. Next is the scent Kitten Tummies, which I rated 9 out of 10, and I would like to full size it. The notes are marshmallow, sweet benzoin resin, white sandalwood, sugar, and a hint of myrrh. I said that this is sweet and simple. Next is the scent Lucky Black Cat, which I rated 3 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are a sensual blend of soft, sweet amber intertwined with quite a bit of black pepper, papyrus, a hint of cardamom, and sandalwood. I said that this scent is spicy and herbally, but not really sweet. It leans androgynous. Next is the scent Maine Coon, which I did not rate. I actually destashed this. The notes are sweet, syrupy benzoin resin dominating, followed by sandalwood, a hint of 2 vanillas, a bit of amber, and a touch of cardamom. Next is the scent Marshmalloud, which I rated 7 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are singed marshmallow on a base, primarily of oud, amber, and sandalwood. I said this scent is one that smells sweet when not smelling it directly on the arm, but then it becomes more complex the closer you get to it. It's a bit difficult to discern the additional notes, but the amber comes through and it almost smells like there's the tiniest bit of a floral note in it. Next is Oncilla, which I rated 9 out of 10, and I do want to full size this. The notes are this meringue topped layer cake is heavy on the coconut cream, which has a noticeable amount of cooking sherry. I said this scent is like clean, soapy vanilla, but with a slightly coconutty tinge to it. It's very hard to describe, but it's gourmand and vanilla-y, while being quite different from what I associate with the scent being gourmand and vanilla-y. Next is the scent Polar Bear, which I rated 3 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are vanilla, vanilla, and more vanilla, creamy but not overly sweet, intertwined with just a bit of Palo Santo and sandalwood, then cooled with crisp peppermint. And under my thoughts, I said hashtag just say no to mint. I guess I should also mention that I don't tend to enjoy mint in my scents as well. Next is the scent Ragdoll, which I did not try. I ended up destashing this as well. The notes are a blend of 3 sugars and cream, livened up with a few drops of honey and bourbon vanilla. Next is the scent Rusty Spotted Cat. I rated this 8 out of 10, and the notes are a milky, buttery, mawa, and ghee, respectively, cookie-like treat with an almond filling coated in ghee and sugar. I said the scent is yummy and sweet with a slight gelatinous note to it. Overall, it's quite nice. Next is the scent Salacia's Silken Stolla, which I received as a free sample. I rated this 2 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are thyme honey, a rich herbal and sweet wood aroma reminiscent of honey made from the thyme flowers, bees' love, which is still produced in Sicily and Greece, an all-natural perfume, very thick like warm honey. I said that this smells like minty honey and I hate it. It eventually rounds out to a simple honey scent, but it's so not worth it to deal with the beginning top notes. Next is the scent Serendipity, which I rated 8 out of 10. The notes are 3 rich vanillas sprinkled with raw sugar and a drop of sweet liqueur, paired with freshly cut Himalayan cedarwood. I said straight out of the bottle, this smells like a really rich cherry cough syrup. Over time, the liqueur mellowed out and the cedarwood came out. Then it became an almost syrup/pancake scent. It started out at a 3, became a 6, and then became an 8. Next is the scent Spotted Skunk, which I also destashed, so I did not try it. The notes are gooey, sweet vegan marshmallows, as they were just beginning to melt under low heat. Next is the scent Talisman, which I also received as a free sample. I rated this 9 out of 10, and I do want to full size it. The notes are sweet tobacco leaves drying in the sun, vanilla bean pods on cedar planks, a sliced blood orange, and a drop of cream. I said that this scent is so sweet and lovely. The vanilla and cream really come forward with just the slightest touch of tobacco, but it's not smoky and wood. It can easily be described as a pretty scent. Next is the Marshmallow Prince, which I rated 7 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are lightly toasted marshmallows and marshmallow creme, deepened with benzoin and dark bittersweet labdanum resins and black pepper. I said this smelled like spiced sweetness/marshmallow in the bottle. It wasn't bad, but I don't need to full size it. Next is the scent Tubby Tabby, which I rated 2 out of 10, and I will not be full sizing it. The notes are honey, Ceylon tea, rich vanilla, and a touch of cardamom seed. I said that this scent is very rich and warm, but it's not sweet enough for my tastes. And lastly is the scent Warm Contentment, which I also rated 2 out of 10, and I will not be full-sizing it. The notes are cups of hot Russian caravan tea and thin slices of tart apples arranged on a carved oak tray make the increasing wood outside seem unconcerning. I said I think the apple notes in the scent don't mix with my nose/skin chemistry. This is very tart and yet sweet, which I found to be quite unpleasant. So I think you can see here that I didn't actually have that much success with Fyrinnae as a brand. There were 3 scents that I wanted to full size, and that's on the lower end in terms of hit rate. I suspect that that's because in terms of who I think this house would be good for are people who enjoy realistic and not necessarily sweet gourmands. I think when we think of gourmands, we're often thinking of like pastries. And although so many of the notes that I said I enjoy are found in these perfumes, they are on the less sweet end of that. So there were some in here that described like having 3 vanillas and sugar, and there were lots of marshmallow notes, but it's a very realistic version of that as opposed to what I think we tend to think of when we think of vanilla and marshmallow and sugar. I also think that they have quite a few androgynous and or masculine leaning scents. I think you could tell when I was reading the notes that a lot of them have like wood notes, perhaps some like smokiness or spiciness or leather type notes, which I generally associate with being more masculine. So although I didn't have a great hit rate, there are definitely people for whom I could see this house working really well for. I also want to mention that Fyrinnae does not only sell perfumes, they also sell makeup. I haven't tried any of their makeup, but I do know that they are generally quite well received on the Indie Makeup and More subreddit. So if you are interested in eyeshadows in particular, I'm a bit unsure if they have other items, but I know they have eyeshadows for sure, then this would be a great house for you to check out. Then in terms of my experience purchasing from them, I placed an order on March 8th and the order shipped on March 11th. So very quick turnaround time. I don't think I've heard a single issue regarding Fyrinnae based on like the reviews that I've read from other people. They seem to be a very reputable, well-established brand who don't have an issue sticking to their stated turnaround time. I also never had to reach out to customer service to address any issues, so I can't comment on that front. But again, everything that I've heard about this brand from other people in terms of their experiences have been positive. So that's all that I wanted to cover in this video today. I'll include a link to all of the other indie perfume houses that I've reviewed on my channel in the description box down below. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Have you heard of this brand? Have you tried this brand? And if you have tried this brand, what were some of your favorite scents from them? Are there any that I'm missing that I need to try out? I would love to know. I also hope that you will consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. And before I go, I'd like to take a minute to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend watching this video. It really means a lot to me. Thank you. Bye.